What's up, everybody? We back with another message, another video. Thank you to all my new subscribers and future new subscribers. You know we do nothing here without God because everything is spiritually led by God over here. We cover the world from a spiritual and physical aspect to get the raw, real, and uncut answers. So anything you hear, anything you see in these end times, may you test the spirits, aka take the words and visuals back to prayer with God, as there are many Decepticons running around in these end times sent from the enemy, had a strong, close, and personal relationship with God. Good, great, and awesome. All right, everybody, October 19th, 2024, on a good old Saturday word/warning here from the Lord. Pretty easy bullet points, some things the Lord has already talked about and some. And he told me it was necessary to get on and talk about this as we move into times ahead, okay? So, bullet point number one, the election. And we talked about a lot of this already, but confusion in the prophetic space brewing to happen because of all the different results. So number one, winner of the election, whether it be Kamala or Trump. The Lord told me potential rigging, right? And chaos in the world due to idolatry of people, of man, and not looking at him to understand what's happening in his plan. So, you know, you get the people that rigging, Trump winning, Kamala winning. So you got to listen to the words being spoken, ladies and gentlemen. You can't just listen to something and then not process what's happening or being said or what it means. So that can cause a lot of stir up and attacks and all types of stuff, chaos in that space, prophetic space, because if a potential rigging happens, depending on how people move, because that's how things work, it depends on how people move, that can have different results, but truth will always be the end result to expose lies and so forth. We already knew all of that, but here's the problem. Because Satan can disguise his ministers when stuff starts happening. So potential rigging, let's say that night Kamala does win, quote unquote, which is false. It's not actually her winning, it's rigging, right? So technically she did not, quote unquote, win this worldly election. I can't stand it because the worldly election, I call it the worldly election because God, Daniel 2:21, picks who's going to run. We don't, you know. Can you imagine people emotional all over the place trying to put somebody in place and don't even know God's plan? Since when? But Daniel 2:21 clearly says, and we talked about this, God sets up kings and remove kings for certain seasons, and it's according to his plan, whether to bring people closer to him or to fulfill a righteous plan overall in that moment. So God is going to be the one, and everybody's going to know that God did it. Not us, not man. It don't work like that. God is in control. And that's what people are not highlighting in the church. But we're going to get to that in a second. Continuing with this prophetic confusion. Remember, Satan likes to disguise his ministers as ministers of righteousness. So, Satan has a plan, and God has his plan. God's plan will always be over Satan's plan, correct? But that doesn't mean that lying spirits won't get in the ears of people to speak out Satan's plan. So y'all got to be aware. You can't just be blindly listening. Because this is where a lot of people are going to come out and say, see, this happened, that happened, right? Hold on. What is God doing? And why is he allowing that to happen? What is he putting on blast here? So y'all need to really pay attention to what God is doing and not listening to man. Because a lot of people on these platforms are telling people who to vote for, what they should be doing. It's like the church is in shock of responses coming out of people's mouths. And I'm just like, why? Why is this a surprise to people? God has been saying this the whole time. Have y'all been listening? That's just me, but I guess not. Because the church is surprised by all this stuff that they shouldn't be surprised by and need to focus more on their relationship with God and learn how he's communicating with them instead of what the world is worried about. Yet they're worried about an election, which is a part of the worldly system. Do y'all understand? And a lot of people try to say it's common sense to go out and do this. We got to do this. You don't got to do nothing. It's God's job. Daniel 2:21 already tells you that. So that's what the word says. The word is the discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. What you thinking ain't adding up. So, yeah, we got to watch that chaos and attacks to come in this church prophetic space. Okay? Watch out. Pay attention, because things are not going to add up. Plans are going to start to come through. God's plans. And y'all going to see. But you got to pay attention to what's happening around you. Be aware when you're listening. A lot of conflict in words, disguising of Satan's ministers. And watch when people speak off emotion based on how they feel rather than what God is saying. People can do that and are doing that and slapping the name of the Lord on it, making it seem like the Lord told them to do it, and that's not true. Watch it. And don't be stirred up with the world when all this stuff begins to kind of scramble a bit, right? Y'all better be ready, and don't be all surprised and confused. Ain't no confusion. We already know what the deal is. Next topic, wealth transfer. Very simple. The points. People are still not listening to God's instructions. That's what he told me. Okay? Distracted by the topic itself. That's all they are talking about. We didn't beat this topic into the ground. And most people don't even understand what this is about and what it means. You don't even have to be in a crypto space to receive from God. You don't. God is going to be in all areas because he's going to take over all areas in his great pouring out. But a lot of people don't understand the responsibility aspect and what this even means. Still, after 2 years from when most people knew about what was happening. Let go and let God. And like the post that I had did maybe earlier in the week, God is a provider. He's never stops providing. So people are making it sound like he just stopped providing for his children. I'm watching God provide in my life and others' lives every single day. Just be in thanksgiving and gratitude and speak life. Thank you, Father. Thank you. Stop complaining all the time. Let go and let God and get out the way so he can provide for you. But y'all be in the way a lot of times. He tell you what to do so he can provide for you, but you in the way. Move out the way. Then you can see the results. But when you stuck in the world, when he tell you to leave a certain job, when he tell you to leave a certain house, when he tell you to leave a certain place, and you don't want to do it, yeah, you ain't gonna see nothing because you ain't operating off faith because you're not doing what he's telling you to do. Right? And a lot of people say, I'm waiting for the wealth transfer too. Man, people just don't even know. You don't need that for God to provide, because does he not feed the birds? He provides every day, knowledge, wisdom, and so forth. So I just see the attitudes of people, and people, it almost sounds like a disparity of wanting this, and people get so caught up in it, they can't stop talking about it. That means it's become an idol for you, and that's not right. I don't even know how people are still talking about this much right now. I'm sitting here with the Lord, not talking about this normal conversation. Do it whenever. You are a provider every day for me. People need to have that attitude. Then you'll be good. Like for my journey, a lot of people just cannot process when I say he provided this way or that way. Almost like I'm lying about it because their faith is so weak. But it is your faith that grants you access. Goodness gracious. And this is what the Lord said. Many will walk themselves into traps due to not heeding my warnings. It's simple as that. And then this last one, I'm just going to give a small mention to, because I've been asked about this. Celebrities like P. Diddy and all these other people. Right? It is not a surprise. Do you understand? that all this stuff is happening and the enemy's turning on people as he becomes more desperate. And we got more important things to focus on in the church, like your relationship and your growth and progression in your walk. We the church, we not the world. So why the church is talking about this every other day? I thought we were the church and knew this already. Unless you're a baby in the spirit, it just, the stuff people focus on is the wrong stuff. Let go and let God and actually have the mentality to pray for these celebrities. Change your mentality as the church and pray for better for a person regardless of what they've done. Because if they can turn it around for the glory of God, that's a big message. But I have a feeling for some people, even if they did turn it around, the church will still view them a certain way, which is bad heart posture. If God can use anyone and people have killed and done all this stuff, then we need to be having the right heart posture for everyone else, unless God is specifically saying, let them go. All right? It's really bad heart posture in the church too, really bad. The church needs to be sat down and talked to all together, separately and all together, because it's a lot of wrong heart posture, it's a lot of wrong focus, and it's walking people into things they think they're ready for that they're not. A lot of people do not understand how God even communicates in their life, let alone they can have a soul relationship. But listening to a lot of these people on the platforms, a lot of them are not submitting to God 110%. They're just doing what they want to do, talk about what they want to talk about, free reign, opening their mouth on certain things and giving themselves assignments. That is not how that works at all. And when you read the word, that is not how that worked at all. There are others that need encouragement. They need to be taught how this works, right? And then there's people at a different level that, you can tell, okay, secular music is not the way. But man, it's just a mess. But anyway, if you got a problem with this message, call 1-800 Ancient of Days. Get you some large faith and some sense that may not always be common, and call the Lord. He will answer and show you great and mighty things you do not know, right? In the way he would like to. Because remember, that's the God, the one and only true living God. And you better remember that. And you better know it. And if you don't know, it's time for you to know. Peace and blessings, and I will catch y'all in the next one.